Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with my good brother, Miguda. Miguda, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, bro. I'm managing very well. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Today being a Friday, and I know being an Adventist, maybe are you have you gone for Sabbath, or you're going to Sabbath after this?
After this, I'm actually going for Sabbath to open the Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
We usually open Sabbath on Friday, and tomorrow we'll be having the holiday, the Lord's
Mm-hmm.
Day. That's the
Yeah.
Sabbath keeping day. But from here, we are going for Vespers that you can usher in the Sabbath.
Okay. You know what happened Migudu. Unajua jambo ilifanyika. Unajua juzi kate tulikuwa na ile maombi ambapo yani ilileta viongozi pamoja. Ukapata kwamba rais mwenyewe akaomba radhi wananchi, akaomba radhi nchini wa Tanzania, akaomba radhi wa Uganda, vile vile akaomba radhi kwa mavijana kizazi kipya sana sana. Na unajua mapokeleo haijakuwa vizuri. Watu wengi wanasema kwamba ukitaka kuomba radhi lazima kwamba ukubali ni makosa gani ambayo ulifanya, ndio maana unaomba radhi. Huwezi tu omba radhi. We kauli yako ni gani?
Ukitaka kuomba radhi, kauli yangu ningependa kusema kwanza, lazima uhakikishe kwamba umejulisha watu makosa yako. Unajua wewe kusema ya kwamba naomba radhi, na kama wewe ni mweupe kama pamba, mwenye kwa naomba radhi si ati yeye ni mweupe kama pamba. Anafaa kwanza aelewe pia wale wenzake ambao anaomba radhi. Kujua wenzake pia kuna zile mlalamishi nazo kulingana na yale yaliyotokea hapo awali. Sasa kwanza anafaa pia, lakini nikisema kwamba hata kuomba radhi lazima angeomba mapema. Sasa mimi kwa maoni yangu ni kama muda imechelewa. Sasa ingawa ameomba radhi, lakini anafaa kujielewa na kuelewa yale malalamishi ya wale watu ambao naomba radhi.
Na unajua kuna wakati pia nilikuwa nazungumza tu na watu, na wale wengine walikuwa wanasema tu ingekuwa jambo la busara kwake sana sana rais angeomba radhi na pia aende kawatembelee wale ambao waliathirika sana katika maandamano ya Gen Z, wale ambao bado wako katika hospitali ya Kenyatta, ama wale wazazi ambao walipoteza watoto wao kwa njia tatanishi. Labda angewaita awaongee naye, awaombe radhi, lakini ile tu kuomba radhi labda inaonyesha kwamba hairidhishi. Unaweza sema kwamba pia kauli ya huyo ndugu yetu ilikuwa iko sawa?
Unajua hapo awali tulizungumza tukasema iwapo ilikuwa na shida kama kizazi kipya, lakini kuna vile vitu ambavyo tulifanyiwa ambao zilikeuka haki zetu. Kwa mfano, kuna wale wenzetu ambao walijeruhiwa wakati wa maandamano, kuna wale wenzetu ambao waliuawa, na kuna wale wenzetu pia walipotea, wale ambao walitekwa nyara. Kwa hiyo tulisema kwamba kama wewe ni kiongozi, ya kwanza unafaa kuelewa uliapishwa kisheria ya kwamba uko na jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba kila mtu katika nchi yako ametunzwa vizuri. Hakuna haki ya mtu yote ambaye inafaa kukeukwa. Sasa mwanzo angefaa kuhakikisha kwamba wale wenzetu ambao walijeruhiwa, kila msee angepatiwa haki yake. Hiyo tunasema ya kwamba kulikuwa na compensation. Alafu kutoka hapo sasa unaweza omba radhi baadaye, lakini sasa unaomba radhi na hata kuna yule hata mmoja mwenye amekuwa compensated. Kwa maoni yangu, angefanya kama kiongozi ya kwanza, angefaa kuenda na kumpa msamaha kwa wale watu ambao walijeruhiwa, kwa wale victims, si wananchi, kwa sababu kuna wale wenye hawakujeruhiwa. Alafu pia angefaa kuhakikisha kwamba kila mtu anapata haki, alafu baadaye angeomba radhi. Lakini hiyo ni pia ameona ni sawa, lakini wasema kwamba ni amechelewa, angefanya mapema. Na vile vile pia serikali ingechukua jukumu katiba kuhakikisha kwamba kila msee ambayo alijeruhiwa amepatiwa compensation.
Okay, asante sana ndugu yangu Miguda kwa maoni yako. Wacha nichukue nafasi ama fursa hii kusalimia wale ambao wanatutazama ni pamoja na Brenda Obedi, asante sana kujiunga na sisi. Pia vile nashukuru pia kuona rafiki yetu mpendwa sana Gibson Kona, pia naona yuko na sisi. Thank you so much Miguda, and that is just observation that everyone is having their own opinion, especially regarding the forgiveness and the apology that the president actually apologized during the national prayer meeting that was held the other day with the members of parliament in attendance and the guest speaker. You know, Miguda, what is happening today? There are so many activities that are taking place from yesterday. We had Kaolonzo Musyoka hosted Rigathi Gachagua and members of opposition, and the message was very clear. Yeah, it was one term. You know, one term lazima President afike Sugoi. At the same time, the president himself and was hosted by the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga in Kisumu. And that was yesterday. He has continued this tour in the larger Nyanza, to say, is in Homa Bay. Mega projects are being launched, and you know, and activities are taking place, and I think people have come out in large numbers. But from all indication, it seems to me, I might be wrong, that the political alignments are taking shape based on the pronouncements that are being made by the leaders. They are pointing at some point. So I think as things stand, I tend to believe, I might be wrong, and I stand corrected, that Sifuna was holding in brief for Baba, especially to let people know that we are not in broad-based government. And there are those also who are in broad-based government who are also supporting broad-based government, who are holding in brief for Baba. But from all indication, I think Baba is working with the President William Ruto. And he's going to support his bid from the look of things. Maybe what is your take based on what you've seen and the videos that are coming out of in the social media?
Just want to delve into your point, and first, me, I have certain principality in my life. First, I believe that you should always stand for what is right, even if you are standing alone. And that's why there's no day I can be shaken, even if you see people might say that maybe Raila is with Ruto, the other day you are opposing Ruto, so you must shift. No, they can't be shaken. Provided I know what I'm doing, I'm very much contented. Therefore, that's how human beings should be. You will see some people like Sifuna who are holding brief for Baba will jump now to join Ruto in future because of the realignment we are talking about. But we should always stand for the truth, and most of the time we should always ensure that whenever we have opportunity to lecture the public, we teach the world the right. That was sung by Lucky Dube by then, that ensure that teach the world, you teach them right. So I believe that, in my view, I believe the political class has succeeded. Actually, they have made their way because we cornered them. The people cornered them last year.
Yes.
But they have made their way. So they have escaped the trap. Because right now, people are getting into camps, and I think right now it is free window transfer. You can find yourself either camp by default. But those people who will be transferred on loan, they're waiting that time will come. Some people will be moved from Wamnyoro to Raila and Ruto, some people from Raila Ruto to Wamnyoro. But currently it is a free transfer window, and by default we can find ourselves. So I can say that the main objective here is that the political class have gotten their way out of the trap, and they have managed to control the people. Actually, they are going to control the people they have been using, and there are those who are going to take sides that they are going to support Kumi Bila break, and those people are going to say one term. So they have managed, or they have succeeded to ensure that they have divided the people into two functions: Kumi Bila break and one term. What happened previously, whereby there were those Atlas versus narratives, and actually there was trickle down economy model, and there was bottom up economic model. So you are either with Azimio or Kenya Kwanza. They have succeeded, And that's why I can say, authoritatively, that we have allowed them to get away from the trap.
Thank you so much for having said that you are either in Azimio or Kenya Kwanza. And there's something that also I noticed, especially when we are looking at the politics of the day. I would take you today at what the deputy president is doing in central Kenya, and is doing bottom-up empowerment. And we even spoke about it yesterday with our good friend Joachim when we hosted him here yesterday. He gave his view. But also, on my side also, I might give my view, and I'm seeing another political strategy that President William Ruto has employed, that is quite much different with what he used during the Mount Kenya, because seemingly the Mount Kenya is not receptive to President William Ruto, so. He's going to invest majority of his energy, especially in Nyanza, where now they're trying to make sure that they cement the broad-based government. But this is the difference. The difference is, as Kithure Kindiki is trying to bring in the Mount Kenya to President William Ruto or the Kenya Kwanza side with the bottom-up empowerment, whereby he gives money, a small money for young enterprises, the musicians. But on this other side, the major projects are being launched. Yeah, which is quite contrary to what even President William Ruto did when he was campaigning in 2022 in Mount Kenya, where the church was the entrance, But now, for the Nyanza now, or the Raila Odinga support base, to be cemented, the broad-based government, the major projects are taking place. And remember, even before he came, the last time he was there, there's some projects that he launched, and he even allocated some funds which have not kicked off, but he's still launching and interacting. You could see what happened in Dewa today in the Homa Bay town itself. You could see what is happening. What is your take on, if you look at those scenarios?
Actually, there are quite different approach to the public. First, you find out that the Mount Kenya people are being approached by the person who's well known to them, it's the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, going for the empowerment towards, whereby he's concentrating on the youths that he want to empower younger people, to show that he got the massive support from the Mount Kenya region. On the other hand, there are major projects in Nyanza ongoing, and I have a problem because they usually concentrate on the one region. Previously, when they were the handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, they concentrated in Kisumu town to an extent that it was named Europe. Right now, we have broad-based government between UDA, Ruto, and Raila, but they have concentrated in Homa Bay, and most of their focus is in town, the headquarters of the county. What about the sub-county? Those are the challenges they want to challenge. They should go deep into sub-counties. And it's a matter of Nyanza. Nyanza does not end in Homa Bay. Nyanza go beyond Kisii, Nyamira, and also goes beyond Migori and Siaya. Because they are talking about they have been marginalized. If they have been marginalized, they have not marginalized the people of Homa Bay and Kisumu alone. The entire region has been marginalized. So they should ensure that all those mega projects transverse across the region, not only in some particular counties, but specifically the headquarters of those counties. I think that now the only way you can persuade the electorates in Nyanza is by issuing those mega projects, because they are feeling that they have been left behind. And with them, actually right now, the conversation has changed in Nyanza. If you are not going to deliver, actually even to MPs and MCs, people want, not in Nyanza, but Kenya generally, people want someone who can work. If you don't want, if you cannot work, you are not going to be the elected. So the people of Nyanza have adjusted, and the only way you can persuade them, because things like TB, things like Chalala, they have sung for a quite long time. Things like coup, things like coalition government, handshake, demonstration, protest, they have done it all. Now, the only thing you can persuade them is just if you can bring mega projects and you can promise and deliver, you can persuade them to a large extent that actually, if they never voted for you and you can work for them, they can reward you. And I know the people of Nyanza, you can only persuade them through what they can see, not what they hear right now, because they have done it all. Some people have even walked naked, tested the results. And the reason why these people have shifted the conversation in Mount Kenya is because previously, the president used to worship in Mount Kenya every Sunday. He was in Mount Kenya. He was carrying the Bible. He was persuading the congregants. He was persuading the bishops, the reverend. And because those people have rebelled, now they have shifted the focus to the younger people through empowerment project. Now they are bringing new conversation or narrative. That's why I see that these things are just politically made so that they can get their way in 2027. But anything good for common life, though, we can see there are some things we can actually see. But if you dive into them deeper, there are a lot of conning into them, actually. But that one is not the people to do. But for us, we are just simply saying that the politics of the country has shifted and they are focused different regions, that this region we go with something that resonates so well with them, like the Nyanza people, the Mount people, we focus on the young people through empowerment, but we let us the conversation from the Bible, hustlers, such things.
So it tells you how sometimes the politicians come up with a very coiled or strategy that usually works, because like now when you go to Homa Bay right now, everybody is praising the president, and I had somebody saying somewhere that the only people who can say "Kumi bila break" are the people of Homa Bay, because president the president has really visited them more than any other county, especially, if to be precise, ever since the president came into the office. Homa Bay has been his visiting place. Like, he can come anytime, and maybe the governor for Homa Bay is pushing for that. And also, Raymond Omolo being the PS in the administration of President William Ruto, and he's also coming from Homa Bay, might also be influential, kind of like pushing some of the national projects, or even the national projects, if to say, that are taking place in Homa Bay. Or what do you think?
Raymond Omolo factor is an added advantage, and the fact that the current PS for internal security is Raymond Omolo, coming from Karachuonyo, a sub-county in Homa Bay County, is an added advantage. And actually, if you look at those mega projects, the way you have just mentioned, like stadium, the pier, the airstrip, the dual carriage, and also the
market,
state lodge, the market, the fish market, the state lodge. Those, Raymond Omolo has been visiting those sites, actually supervising them, and he has been updating on his social media pages. He has been on the ground with the people carrying out even the contract. So it means that Raymond Omolo's effort cannot be ignored, because there are many projects in the country which are not moving. But other than those mega projects, there is always the name of the PS across the Nyanza that actually is uplifting the family who are less regarded, like widows. Is actually trying to change the dwelling for widows by constructing at least good houses for them. And he has not select certain regions. He has decided to do the entire community. So in my view, Raymond, as the PS for internal security, other than being the internal security for the entire country, but actually he has also decided to look at the community where it's coming from, which to me sometimes is some most people have done such things, and Raymond no more exception. And I can just argue that most of the projects in Homa Bay County are courtesy of the national government and courtesy of the internal PS Raymond Omolo. But because Wang is the current governor, so she has to take advantage, because he's at Kenya, and they have to take advantage of that. And even look at the roads, the Gor Mahia Ring Road, because right now in the budget, the constituencies in Homa Bay County, they have allocated roads for them. Every constituency. And now MPs are taking credit. Of course, they must take credit because they are pushed for it. But you understand, the person who wrote the budget, where it was written, the PS for finance, the budget chair. So they have to done those things for their community. So at least they will say, when we got an opportunity to serve as the CS or as the internal PS, actually we did our part. So in my view, that even before we give credit to Wanga for pushing Ruto to come to the ground, there are people who have worked seamlessly. People like the PS Raymond Omolo, people like John, people like the Tandy, and also the president has visited Mwabe. Actually, this is the 9th time since his administration, and they have promised to do so much things. Other than there are things that are actually which are going on, like the issue of they are going to bring ferry in that the ferry in that area, and also they are going to ensure that the railway has come from Naivasha to Kisumu, then Malaba. Those things are underway, and he promised us by December he'll be back in Homa Bay. So I believe that because the other time he promised, he came back, and actually we can see those things. So we believe that by December we expect ferry. By December, by next year, we expect that ring road to be completed. We expect those things to be completed. We are demanding that they must be completed. If it comes to Homa Bay to lie, we are not going to spare you. We don't want someone who lies. Actually, if he can promise and deliver, it is good for him, for that constituent. But if we not deliver, then that's where people will have problems in this country.
Oh, okay, thank you. But do you feel that all that the president is doing, because even based on what Raila said, that now president is working, and even the CS for finance, Treasury Mbadi, said that he's not going to vie for any elective seats, and that's the reason why I was saying that the political formation that the Raila might work with Ruto until 2027. Do you feel this one will translate to vote, especially when it comes to 2027? You worked for us, all these projects you did for our county. No, let's now give you a second time so that you can do more.
My honest opinion, I believe that if at all, Ruto can actually perform, because the only route for him to persuade the people of Nyanza is by delivering those projects he has promised. Like I've told you, if he can go, there's places he can lie in this country, but there are places he cannot lie. You know those people. If you lie to them, they won't give you those votes. So in my honest opinion, I believe that he must deliver. He has got no option, but he must deliver. Then now when it comes to the electorate, I still have my original thought that people will come out to vote in Nyanza, actually, but there will be voter apathy. Because if now Raila is not going to vie, it means now they have option, either Ruto or the person from the Wamnyoro team. But because people, if Raila was the kingpin by then, and Raila was the dual leader, party leader, and Raila was a mysterious leader in that country, and in that region, and when it comes to Raila, the 700,000 votes electorates never turn out to vote for him. What about Ruto, who has been an opponent to Raila? I still believe that people will come out to vote, but majority will not come out to vote, in my view. There will be voter apathy, but Ruto is likely to get a huge number of votes from that region. I've also taken the ground, but there are those people who believe that the justice has not been done to the younger people, and there are those people also believe Ruto cost them by the from Raila and supporting Uhuru in 2013. Because if they could have stick to Ruto, that would be the of this country. So those people also, there are so many mixed reaction from the current on project in that region. And I cannot give a certain response now, but what I can just assure you that the region has shifted, and they are actually supporting William Ruto, and there will be no much turnout in the region because if Raila is not going to vie. But what I can attest here is that the people, the so-called experts, they are not ready to lose those seats. And none other than John Mbadi has confirmed to us today that he's not going for any elective seat. So he's likely to support William Ruto for second term. You agree it's a fine. Most of the people in that region, actually, because you understand the politics of the masses, you saw Raila today come out, Raila to convince the people that Ruto is working for us. I believe that they are going to, I'm certain sure they are going to support William Ruto. They have no, because even in the formation, you must look at where you have been from, because you understand now the Munyoro camp is now full. People have taken positions. Like there's Kamba massively, there's Kikuyu Nation massively, there's Luya Nation coming there, the Kisi Nation. But here at Ruto's camp, you can find Kalenjins and the Luos. So likely you have to weigh where you are preferred in the formations. That's where you are likely to end up.
Okay, we've spoken so much about the influence of Raymond Omolo, especially to make sure that especially national governments projects are doing better in Homa Bay. And if you listen even to people on the ground, people sometimes, majority of people, the good percentage of people give credit to Raymond Omolo. He's a very quiet guy, but his deeds, or the work that the underground work, the groundwork is felt, And where does this one leave the axis of Orengo in this, with now Raila Odinga coming out and attending these meetings with President William Ruto? Where does this one leave James Orengo?
James Orengo was present, actually, for the information. At Tomba Labor College, James Orengo was present, and James Orengo was very, I said it before that James Orengo knew what he was saying. James Orengo was advocating for the rights of the people, the constitution and the institution. James Orengo was not fighting Raila. James Orengo was not fighting William Ruto. So there is no issue whereby you can exclude him, that you can disagree with him, and that's what he was doing. And you have even now realized that even that heat of impeachment has slowed down. You have now realized that it's not going to happen, because the other day, 2 days before this meeting, I saw him with the Speaker of the County Assembly around a certain market in Sierra County with certain MC. So impeaching Orengo is impossible. That's what I can say here. They are not going to impeach him, and I think that Orengo was very clear. But you understand, Raila needs Orengo more than Orengo needs Raila. Therefore, they have also talked behind the curtains. I saw him present today, and Orengo is going to align with the position of Raila later. But there's a problem here. There are two people here, which now we must focus on them. Edwin Sifuna and Babu Owino. They have remained adamant. They have never joined to such meetings. They have never joined any, even when the president was meeting Nairobi leaders, they were absent. So our focus now should shift to Orengo. Orengo has aligned. I think Orengo is likely to align. But now, people like Babu and Sifuna are likely not to align due to some reasons well known to them, or due to their competence, where they are coming from, because it's more of a cosmopolitan. Because once you shift your allegiance from the people to the status quo, you are likely going to lose the Nairobi senatorial and the Embakasi East constituency, because Embakasi East constituencies, Luos are coming number 4 after some tribes. So you need to balance your political seesaw. But what I want to say is that the Orengo factor now is not at play here, because that was activism, whereby he was advocating for the rest of the people. But what is happening right now here is now they are trying to form a coalition going forward to understand on how they're going to work with Raila. And Ruto is not going to leave Raila from the look of things. Ruto is going to cling to Raila to the very end.
Yeah, because the reason why, because as things stand, to me, this is why I believe when you look at the politics of central Kenya, and Rigathi is trying so hard, and we will come and discuss about the opposition, especially the Kaolonzo Musyoka that hosted the member of opposition immediately after this. If you look at what is happening in central Kenya, Rigathi is trying so hard to consolidate Mount Kenya and to make sure that the influence of President William Ruto is not there. And you cannot match right now, even with what Kindiki is doing. I don't think he can match the art of politics or what Rigathi Gachagua is doing in central Kenya. Because if even you look at Rigathi Gachagua when he was vying for the very first time for Madira constituency, most of his competitors actually dropped out of the race. One of the things is that he was a very good mobilizer. 2, he was a very good when it comes to delivering messages. 3, he had money on how to run his campaign. So I am not seeing Kithure Kindiki, Honorable Kithure Kindiki, encountering especially Rigathi Gachagua in Mount Kenya, because if they could have joined forces with Kimani Ichung'wah to assist him, but you find that Kimani Ichung'wah is a persona non grata in central Kenya. Wherever he goes, people do heckle him. So the only person that is left to fight for president currently is Kithure Kindiki to fight for that Rigathi Gachagua effect. But I don't think he can match that strength at this particular moment. So we will be following up and see if ex-deputy and the current deputy is how their influence is going to play part in central Kenya. Now, this something that yesterday happened that I'm seeing quite a number of people are giving opinion on, but like we decided that we wanted to do a research on it so that we can come up with a conclusive evidence. Yesterday, President William Ruto said that he gave land, that Raila Odinga gave 5 acres of land, especially to build affordable housing. That one can be true. But now the issue that is making it to become untrue, if you look at where they were, it was LV Marina. Yeah, LV Marina, that place, the 5 acres of land that President was talking about is not for affordable housing. There was a private partnership between a certain real estate company and the family of Raila Odinga. And if you're very keen, I think I can check it. It was in 2025, something in January, if I might be wrong, where it was launched. Let me just bring this, my good people, so that we can see it. And this is what it is. When you see this, Kenya shillings 120 billion Kenya Kisumu housing project set to create jobs, lift the face value. And this was on January 18th, 2025. And this was the project. This was the project that President laid the hands on. So let me just do it like this. Where is the, okay. This is the project that they were talking about. It is not affordable housing the way now everybody is saying that Raila has donated. He might have donated a land, but not LV Marina. So when you look at this, this is on January 18th, January 2025. And here you can see Suleiman Shabal is the chair of that real estate. And the clip says, the Gulf Cup real estate CEO Chris Ochieng present LV Marina development model to Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga alongside on Suleiman Shaban and other guests during the launch of master plan. So this is what the president said about the 5 acres plot of land. Yeah, it is not for affordable. It is a private property, and is like I think like the president, what president said was untrue. Maybe he wanted to gain political mileage on it, but this is the exact place, the marina, and the chair of that real estate company is called the Gulf Cup Real Estate Company. And on Saturday, they launched LV Marina, a master plan development set to define the larger Western Kenya region in ceremony attended by several dignitaries, investors, and members of the public. So that was it. And Professor Nyang' Nyong'o was there. And it says what this project is a testament to what visionary leadership and strategic partnership can achieve. This development will not only elevate Kisumu urban profile, but also create jobs, boost local businesses, and positions of our country as a regional economic hub. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Gulf Cup Real Estate and stakeholders for making this vision reality, said that was Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. So that was the land that President, I think, said that has been given by the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, I don't think, right, especially it is because, like, if you see that it was LV Marina. So I think the president, I don't know, but maybe Raila has given another one, but this one. And another thing, Miguda, maybe you can also assist us to know, especially when you are when you give the property, like you're giving your property to the state, what is the procedure? Because you cannot build it on a private land.
There must be a procedure for giving a state your land. You understand, right now I can own a land as a owner of that land. And maybe there might be some, for instance, there can be a mineral in that land, or maybe government want to construct certain things which are for the public. And you understand, they must compensate you when you are the owner of that land. So they're buying from you. But this issue of someone donating land to the government or to the public, it doesn't make it's the government should donate land to the public, not the other way around. I believe that what's happening, I just don't want to disclose them here because there are some things which I don't want to bring live, my brother Benzo. But actually, it is something that we can discuss it behind the curtain, because there was something that was done other than what was said by the people.
Yes, I know there are so many stories about that land and where it is, and which, as you said earlier. So like when some of the questions that, especially when the president said that he has donated 5 acres of land, so the questions were: does it mean that the Kenyan government does not have enough land in Kisumu, whereby you can only be given around 5 acres of land? So those are the questions that were being raised. Another thing is that, like, who is going to benefit from the donated land? But as things stand, it was not donated. It was a partnership from the launch that happened on 18th of January 2025. It was a partnership between the real estate company and the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. But I think what President did, President just went to launch the place and say that it was launched by the president. But those are not affordable housing. Yeah. And if you are going to buy them, if they will be sold, they will be sold at market value. That is one. Then secondly, another thing that also we have to talk about is about the Makasembo, where the president was. Those houses at Makasembo too are not the affordable housing. They're not funded by the national government. That contract of 3 billion Kenya shillings was signed in March 11th, 2021. This was a lab fund where I think the director of that lab fund was David Koros, with the government of Kisumu, Professor Nyang Nyong'o, at a cost of 3 billion. So as we speak today, the Makasembo project is not, the thing that we have to get clear of, is not affordable, funded by the house levy. It was a contract that was signed in March 11th, 2021 by Lab Fund and government of Kisumu. So we have to make those one clear. Takes politics aside, those are the facts. Hatutaki tu kusema tu, those are the facts. So, and if you go to the archives, you will get that. And when you talk about Makasembo, these are the municipal houses. These who used to be municipal land. Yeah. And where Makasembo is, you come from Kisumu Poly. If you know where Kisumu Poly is, the stadium, Makasembo. Then there was a place also called Kaburini. Then there's Kisumu Boys. Yeah. Along that, what do we call it? When you come all the way from Mega City, this the China store right now, where they have the big China shop. So you come all the way up to United Mall. That road is somewhere there. So That is what I would say, Mr. Miguda. What do you say?
You have explained it very clearly, but I don't want the underlying issue is that governments have enough land.
Yeah.
Because they understand that all lands belong to the public, and that's the government. And there was absolutely no donation of the land by the former prime minister. It was not given free to the government. And the issue of affordable houses was not there at the Makasembo, what was happening in Kisumu. That was an agreement between the county government of the Kisumu, whereby they are distinct from what we are paying from our payslips. For those who have payslips, they are very simple. To the public, it was sent like to make them believe that affordable housing are working. And actually, the former prime minister is supporting affordable housing, and he has actually donated the land to the government, which is not the case.
Yeah.
And there are some internal issues which must be discussed. The way you have talked about the issue of the owner of the land and how it happened. You understand what's happening between the Raila and the owners of the land, and also how they want to make sure, because you understand the bottom line is these affordable houses, they are not for the public as per saying. So maybe they want to construct they want to give someone his share.
No, like when we come to the NV Marina, this is something that I'm very sure, because like when it happened, I had to call two of our good friends, journalists in Kisumu, and I say like, hey, what is happening? And especially that area, if I want to give you the location, that area where there's NV Marina is called Kisumu Kogon. Yeah, Kisumu Kogon. That area, Kiremba, when you are going to Molasses Plant, that is Kisumu Kogon area. And Kisumu Kogon borders Kisumu Dago, yeah. Then it comes all the way to Kisumu Kanyakwar. This is Kanyakwar A. When you go to Uzima College, is Kanyakwar B. You know, then you come to municipality. So immediately you come from airport. Immediately you leave airport. Airport is kind of part of Kisumu Kogon. So when you leave airport, you come within Kisumu municipality. And when you come to Kisumu municipality has almost around 13 blocks, if not 13, around 16. So there's block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, block 5, block 6, block 7. And within the town, I know it's usually block 7, then block 2 is around by the railways. When you go to, I think block 13, you know, I used to know them, you know, yeah. So the NV Marina, the facts are, it is not affordable housing. Is a partnership between the real estate company with the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, because that lands belong to them. They are doing investment, yeah, are not affordable. Hakuna siku moja mtu atakuwa anasema kwamba sisi tuliambiwa hizi ni affordable, and you will not afford them because they're going to be expensive. If you look at, I was just going through what was happening, what they're going to build. They're going to build, we call it Bishoke, waterfalls, and high new apartment, state-of-art social infrastructure, and light industrial park. So this is going to be an estate, like a small town, you know, down next to the airport. Yeah. And they're going to be expensive, bearing in mind that the airport is just around those areas. So you have to stretch up your muscles for you to if they're going to be sold. So that is so as we speak, no affordable housing has been constructed in Kisumu. There's only one that president came and launched. That was coming around Limumba area. You know that Limumba area. So that is the one that is coming on.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So to cut the long story short,
yeah,
this is an individual investment.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother. So just to correct some of our few friends that I saw, they were saying that, okay, this is going to benefit Raila. How can Raila do this? I said, no, they should check the facts and know this is individual and private investment between the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the real estate company. So Raila is donating the land. The guys are coming up with the finance to finance the project. If they are going to be sold, the profit and everything will be divided among us. And something also about Makasembo that I was just confirming. I was trying to confirm. I think the title deeds will be given, and I think they're going to give what we call the leasehold, whereby you're going to they are going to lease it for a period of some time, and there's a renewal. And the leasehold is usually like 99 years, whereby renewal, you will be paying ground rent, you will be paying land rates. So I think those are some of the things that will be, I stand corrected if I'm not giving the correct information, but that is what I gathered. Miguda, are you still there? Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. Now let's go to Kaolonzo Musyoka. Honorable Kaolonzo Musyoka has hosted and is still hosting the opposition. And there was quite interesting observation that I made. One thing that I made was the presence of Jeremiah Kioni. For the longest time, we've not seen Jeremiah Kioni sharing the same podium with Rigathi Gachagua. But yesterday, what happened, Jeremiah Kioni was there. As you know very well that Jeremiah Kioni is the Secretary General of the Jubilee. And the Jubilee, usually when you talk about Jubilee, we talk about Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So does it mean that Jeremiah Kioni had a blessing of Uhuru Kenyatta to be in that meeting, or does it mean that Uhuru Kenyatta also is supporting the loyal opposition, the way they call themselves? So that one was also a very interesting view that I made. Another observation that I made was the presence of Munya. As you know very well, Munya also has been one of the closest allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Remember, when was it in 2020 what? In 2013, I think it's 2017. 2017, when Munya went for governorship for... Hey, Miguda, where have you been? Umepotea?
I'm around. I'm here. I was at the backstage.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I was just talking about the loyal opposition who were hosted with Kaolonzo Musyoka, that is Rigathi Gachagua, and other opposition leaders who were hosted. And the observation that I made was the first time Jeremiah Kioni and Rigathi Gachagua were sharing the same podium. And that one made me think that maybe President Uhuru Kenyatta might be in the circles of Wamunyoro is not supporting on the other side, because we know Jeremiah Kioni is the Jubilee Secretary General and Uhuru is the face value of the Jubilee. You know, that is one. I also saw Munya. You know, Munya has never attended the meeting with Rigathi Gachagua. He was also present. So those two individuals were very, very quite much interesting to see them. As I was talking about Munya, remember when Munya ran for governorship with Kiraitu Murungi, and he was almost going to court to challenge the election of Kiraitu Murungi, but what happened? Uhuru Kenyatta ended up appointing him as CS for agriculture, and that's what stopped the him going to court. And he was in Azimio, by the way, or he later came and joined Azimio. When he lost to Kiraitu.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
I'm saying what we have to understand is first, the man to watch is Rigathi Gachagua in Mount Kenya.
Yeah,
that is the game changer. And because right now people like Kioni have tried to walk alone, but they cannot walk alone, because that is the gangster is Rigathi Gachagua himself, because he's capturing attention of the many people in the region. And actually, Rigathi Gachagua is the game changer in that coalition. That's why people like Munya are taking advantage right now for this free transfer window, which I told you earlier, to ensure that they are part and parcel of the loyal coalition party. And we understand that Rigathi Gachagua is an asset into that coalition, unlike people like Jeremiah Kioni and other people. In my view, people like Kioni or Munya coming to the loyal coalition party, they have realized, actually, they have interacted with the ground and realized that actually the ground has left William Ruto. Actually, Mount Kenya are not going to vote for William Ruto. Those are facts. Because William Ruto is having a coalition with the Luo nation. I understand the Luo beef with the Morima people. Actually, they can, if you want to lose the Mount Kenya vote, just support a Luo. Then that's how you are going to lose it simply. And if you want to ensure that you get a Mount Kenya vote, fight a Luo candidate, and they're going to support you.
I tend to disagree with that your argument, because remember during the Kibaki time, what happened?
But who voted for who? Who voted for who?
The Luo, the Raila said Kibaki Tosha, and everybody.
Who was the candidate? Who was the candidate?
Kibaki.
That's what I've said. I've said if you want to just put a Luo candidate.
Yeah.
If you could have, there was Orengo. Orengo was in the list. They never voted for him. So the point has always been, it is the Luos who voted for the Kibaki, not Kikuyus voting for a Luo. So the point has always been, even today, if you can put Kasongo and Raila as the two presidential candidates, Kikuyus are going to vote for Kasongo, not Raila. There's no way they can vote for Raila. And if my good friends from Mount Kenya who are the conversation will confirm to you. I talk to them on a daily basis. That they are telling me, yeah, they can't vote for him. So that's what I was saying.
Is that only the Raila or any other Luo?
We haven't done such practically, but what we have worked with is Raila. We have never tried any other Luo, but remember Orengo was there in 2007 as a presidential candidate. They never voted for him. But what I know, they can't vote for Raila. They cannot. So there's no way you can persuade them to vote for Raila. Even Uhuru tried to persuade them, they declined. And I can tell you today, if we end up with Raila and Ruto as the two presidential candidates, they can give Ruto Kumi bila break, but they did not vote for Raila. So that's politics, and it is more of a mass thinking. We think along the mass, not individual perspective. Because I can be rational in my thinking, but it doesn't cut across the masses. And when it comes to the issue, this is why I brought the issue of they cannot vote for Raila. And even if today you can find me in Bunge la Wananchi saying that Kikuyus cannot vote for Raila, I'll get 1,000 likes on TikTok because I've said the truth. They will confirm to you they can vote for him. And so I was saying, because right now Ruto is with Raila, they have shifted their allegiance against William Ruto. So that's why they are telling people like Matiang'i, Natembeya, anybody, but not Ruto, because that alliance between the Raila and the Ruto. And the reason why we also have to agree, Mount Kenya have also made a decision that they are not going to vote for Ruto because they don't trust Ruto. They believe that they were conned, that the entire community was conned by the current president. So they want revenge because they were conned.
Yeah.
And they voted for him, but actually the people who are in government, in the central decision-making table, are the people who voted against him. That is the Luo nation. And most of the instruction is acting from Baba's desktop. I believe that alone, let us just narrow it down to the masses thinking, not rationale. The masses are revealing that some people have taken what rightfully belongs to them because they have produced a president. Then the people who never voted for him have taken what happened previously because they brought Uhuru, but through handshake, Raila took away Uhuru from them. And that's why they voted for William Ruto. So that's why I believe that in Mount Kenya, people are not going to vote for William Ruto. They have moved on. They don't want him. And that's why the man to watch, the man of the game, is Rigathi Gachagua, because Gachagua has ensured that he upholds the vacuum. Because The only person who has now decided to hit directly is Gachagua. Gachagua has confronted William Ruto about the Ngong forest. He has confronted William Ruto about the private airstrip you want to construct at Kilgoris. He has confronted William Ruto about the allegations, which people are afraid to talk about. So those things, if you can speak to the people or the masses, trying to reveal to them actually what's happening, you are likely going to be the man to watch. That's why even in those loyal coalition meetings, he remains the G. People refer to him because he's the one who has come out clearly and faced the opponent with the clear intention that I have allegation against you, and because of the state allegation, you are a one-time president. Some people are still beating around the bush. That's why I believe that even people like Yoni, Munya, they're just taking advantage of the free transfer window so that they can find themselves in the Wamunyoro scam. But the man to watch, or the man who can endorse that person, is Rigathi Gachagua. From Wamunyoro side, is the Gachagua to be watched.
Okay, now if you focus on the opposition leaders, especially now they call themselves loyal opposition leaders, we have Honorable Martha Karua, who actually was in Uganda, and what happened to her when she just entered the courts in Uganda, people broke into praise washing, you know, like singing revolutionary song, and I hope that that one will go in her history as one of her best days in the history of legislation, especially outside the country. And you also look at Wamunyoro, we have Matiang'i also is being said to be amongst them. We have Kaolonzo Musyoka with a lot of experience who actually have been nominated as a deputy president by Raila Odinga for, I think, twice or not thrice, and later was in the Azimio, he was given a prime minister post, which was not even existing, you know, and now they are together and say that their main aim, if I listen to them very keenly, including the Rigathi Gachagua, was saying that the first plan is to take President William Ruto home. And will they stick together before or collapse before 2027? After and before?
Before 2027, they will stick together. Because in Ruto's camp, people have occupied those slots, and no one is ready to surrender his slot to the other person. If you want to come to Ruto's, which best position can you get from Ruto's camp? Because the presidential position has been occupied by himself. With the president, he's not going to surrender to anybody. The deputy president, Vicky, don't want to get out of that seat, and also Luos want to get the deputy president position, or the ODM people. So it is already full. The house is full, and if the house is full, I can't waste my time going to the full house. I rather negotiate in this new house. Maybe I can get a certain position. That's why I can see them sticking together to the very end. Then we can discuss after 2027. People can shift depending on the interest. By that time, as you understand, politics, it's all about interest. But currently, the interests of ODM and UD has converged, and the interests of Kaolonzo and the opposition teams have converged. They're going to stick together.
So do you think, like, especially, you know, my main interest is Kaolonzo Musyoka, is the person that I usually have a main interest with, because look at how Kaolonzo Musyoka has played his politics and how they have worked with Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga has nominated Kaolonzo Musyoka several times, and they had those agreements whereby they say that immediately after that, I'm going to go one term. Then if we win, I will support you. But that one has not actualized. So he has been a running mate for Raila Odinga for quite some time during the nomination. And now comes a situation whereby they're in the loyal opposition. And the prospects are, from what I feel or what I see, the prospect is either between Matiang'i and Kaolonzo Musyoka. That in the event that Matiang'i is confronted to be the flag bearer for the loyal opposition, which means Kaolonzo Musyoka will have to wait for 10 years. Do you think he can sacrifice that, or he can go and work with Ruto and given a position, bigger position?
Working with Ruto depends. Which position is he going to take into Ruto's camp? Because it's a matter of deputy president.
Position.
Which one?
Mudavadi's position, Prime Cabinet Secretary.
So it means Mudavadi will go the other side. It happens that way.
No, what is going to happen? Like, this is what is going to happen. Like now, when they come to these coalitions, what they're going to look at, they're going to look at numerical power, what they've always used to assess the position that they are giving, especially the kingpins. You know, you look at the numerical strength. What are you bringing on the table? So you will look at what is Kaolonzo going to bring on the table vis-a-vis what Mudavadi or Wetangula might bring. You know, so when they put them on the table, they might look at the larger Ukambani. If they can go with Kaolonzo Musyoka, they feel that Kaolonzo Musyoka is a sure bet as compared to Mudavadi, because right now, even in Western Kenya, there is a Peter Salasia, there is a Natembeya, there is a Malala, who are trying to come up, you know, and they're trying to make sure that their numerical number is put in one place. So that one will leave Mudavadi very skeleton. He cannot negotiate well. So Kaolonzo might come in and give him that position.
Yeah, it can happen. Let us say, because this politics is a game of possibilities. But what I can see from my end is that Gachagua is not ready to let Kaolonzo go right now. Gachagua has gone to Kambani, and even today's speech, you have heard him speaking. He was trying to ensure that he enlightened the Kamba nation, and he was telling them that their son has been abused, has been used, and has been misused. So by Kaolonzo going to betray the loyal coalition, I think also, because it's politics, we can't say that he cannot. Of course he can. But where we are right now, people I think are good to go. But what I can see from where I'm sitting, in Rigathi Gachagua coalition, things are not going to be easy. Even for you to be given the ticket for the presidential or running mate, there are things that you must bring on the table. It is not going to be the and people like Kaolonzo might get it rough. So they must start early to prepare an exit excuse, or they stick and get whatever they are going to be given, because they can argue. If you go to Ruto's camp, you are going to be given the prime cabinet, which is unconstitutional. But maybe if you remain,
maybe with some retirement package ingine mzuri kabisa.
Yeah, that can be argued like that. Or Gachagua can offer him that if you remain in the Lord's Coalition Party, we are going to give the prime cabinet secretary another slot for the CS, because the CS is almost full in Ruto's camp. And if they argue that way, maybe they can front in the way you have said. It's likely to be Matiang'i, and I'm not seeing running mate yet, but it's likely to be Matiang'i. They're likely to front Matiang'i. But remember, DCP, Gachagua told us that DCP is the one who is going to have the logbook. But I'm also seeing a scenario whereby they can argue, because Gachagua, no one has said that Gachagua cannot run. He can run. He has the right to run. So people can argue that Gachagua has got the Mount Kenyan people. Gachagua has got the passion, the energy to Songo, unlike other people. They can even decide to confront Gachagua. So in my view, in the Loyal People's Coalition, actually, they should hide that card, because it's part of the strategy. It's too early to reveal their positions. But in Ruto's camp, we are certain sure that the current president is going to defend the seat. We are likely to change the running mate, or they can stick with DP, or they can introduce another person, maybe to play that version of the Musalia Mudavadi they have said. But I think it's also part of the strategy. But also we have had some rumors in town. They are likely to poach someone from opposition to be Ruto's running mate. And that person is not Kaolonzo. That person is a young, youthful legislator. He's in town actually. They are likely to poach him to be. That's a rumor going on in town, that they are likely to poach some legislator who is in opposition to deputize William Ruto come 2027. So there are still a lot of things that are still unfolding.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me take this opportunity to thank Douglas Kibogong. Habari gani kakangu? Umepotea sana. And tuko na pia ndugu yetu hapa anaitwa Kiprotich Ogek Boy. Rigiji is just an empty-headed. Kweli. Tuko na Alphonse Mwendo. Asante sana ndugu yangu. Alphonse anasema, for me, I think Kaolonzo can be a good leader. He was a force behind Kibaki work. Okay. Ani, thank you so much. Dada yangu, umepotea sana. I hope unaendelea vizuri. Kiprotich Gashagwa the village boy, lakini saa zingine but he has the influence because people listen to him. I don't know, because like if you look at the impact, you know, as much as if you look at the impact when he talked about the musicians who visited the Karen house, some of them lost subscribers. It means that he has an influence in his village. Or Miguda, what do you think? Oh, mwenda unafikiria vipi? No, Kiprotich Kiprotich, wewe unafikiria vipi? Kwa sababu ukipata kwamba aliongea na ukapata kama wale walipoteza some subscribers, do you think he does not have influence on that?
What I can say is that though Kiprotich is also entitled to his opinion,
yeah,
and we accommodate his opinion,
yeah,
but I can just say that even in that village,
yeah,
there are Kenyans in that village.
Mm-hmm.
They are electorate, not even if he's a village boy or he's having an influence in the village, those people in the village are also going to vote.
Yeah.
The people in urban centers does not vote solely. Everybody votes. So maybe there may be a good number of population in the village who might have that mentality. That village, you know, the many people in this country are having village mentality. So they are the majority, and actually the people who are going to vote. So if you can resonate so well with them, you can get a huge number of votes. And let us not act on discrimination. That because someone is coming from the village or having a village mentality, he cannot make a change. Actually, they can make change because they are the majority, and they can turn out to vote one of their own to represent them, not an urban boy. But what is at stake is that what I want to say that let us put those differences aside. In my own observation or sampling, in that loyal coalition for the people, the person who has come out clearly to fight the status quo is the ex-deputy Rigathi Gachagua. Other people are still trying to hide. They have not come out clearly. That's why I'm saying that if you can remove Gachagua from that coalition, or you can silence Gachagua, that coalition cannot be even a discussion of the day. It can be dead. But because you have that powerful orator from their side, the people in government are actually responding to Gachagua. That's why I can say that is a force to reckon in the opposition side, unlike other leaders in that coalition.
And now, when you look at opposition, there are quite a number of questions that we are asking, especially this is what Kiprotich is saying. To a few villagers, is a village boy a table is made. Kiprop. Okay, no problem. Here tunasema your opinion counts. When you look at opposition and you look at that cycle, the only person that I would say has never involved himself in public politics, as we say, is Matiang'i. Matiang'i has been a civil servant and now he's coming into politics. And there are those who have been in politics for the longest time, including Eugene Wamalwa. The ex-deputy president has never been in politics for so long because he's only for 7 years experience, though he has been working with the politician like the personal assistant to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Now, and people tend to argue that we want to sweep everybody who has been in politics, especially the young people. How are they going to make sure that that they accommodate these views of young people who are saying we don't want legacy politicians?
That's why I still believe that it's too early right now to have the plan. But what we can say from the Ruto side, already we have a candidate, William Ruto, who is going to defend his seat. And William Ruto is likely to point a millennial to be his running mate. That one I can say. But in Gachagwa's camp, what I can say is that if they can confront Matiang'i,
yes,
then let them have a millennial as a running mate, and others can now watch the game. So Gachagua can be those. They can just be those people who are trying to. The way he told us that he will be supervising, he will give him guidance, and also he will try to mentor young people
yeah,
because he has been there. I think he can play a major role to ensure that he deliver the
yeah,
presidency to the younger generation. But if they decided to have the same faces which we are used to, I don't think the young people thoughts are going to be incorporated. The only way you can persuade the young people that their thoughts or their views have been incorporated is by ensuring that when you are forming alliance or coalition with your fellow colleagues, you must ensure that you reserve a slot likely for the deputy president, either both sides. That's why I told you that with the people in Ruto's camp, we
yeah.
have had rumors, we have heard some intel around that they are likely to put a young legislator to be their running mate, to be those running mate.
So,
And these are speculations.
okay. So how are they going to balance even the gender balance that usually plays a part? Because like when you look at election that is coming, you find like Gen Z is the constituency that everybody is looking for, or to come to their side or to dismantle. You know, this is a constituency that will be the determinant or will be the influential towards 2027 general election. And now when it comes to positions, how are they going to make sure that they are involved in the process, yeah, and be part of the decision making team? Because majority of the times we know and we've seen it that the youths play the crucial role, especially like mobilization, doing the posters, and even attending these rallies. But when it comes to giving of the positions in the table, when now we will be giving the positions, they're nowhere to be seen. How are they going, especially the oppositions, that they're going to do, the opposition they're going to do, so make sure that they've involved them and be part of those decision makings?
What I can say is that first we have to be factual. Number one, the Gen Z we are talking about, people think that this is the first time Gen Zs are existing. People, we have been there. Actually, we had IDs and we had Kuras during the 2020 elections. But some of the Gen Z never came out to vote.
Yes.
Some of the Gen Z never participated in the democratic exercise.
Yeah.
This is not the first time we are going to have a miracle because the Gen Zs have been there, they have been in town, they have been around. But like I told you that Gen Zs, they have been split. There are some Gen Zs who are pro Raila and pro Ruto. Not that the entire Gen Zs are a constituent which is for grab. There are some Gen Zs who have aligned with the status quo. And there are some Gen Zs who have also aligned with the opposition. So the Gen Z have been drastically divided. And also some of the Gen Zs do not trust the process. Like they never voted, so they are likely not to turn out to vote. But you understand also Gen Zs are being used to do other works during campaigns, like they are protecting the politicians, they are guarding their vehicles, they are the goons. Because you can't get a Gen X as a goon. They are going to be a goon, they are going to be bodyguards, they are going to ensure that they are being used, misused, and abused. So we are appealing to the younger people that when it comes to the decision making, and when our thoughts or views have not been integrated into the government, we don't let not any politician use you, misuse you, and abuse you. Ensure that you participate in a manner that is civil, and ensure that once you are done with your exercise, you let it for the authorities like the officers of the IBC to deal with it. Do not engage in violence, the way we have said. We are not ready to lose any life going forward. Like we are not ready to lose people. We don't want things like extrajudicial killings or abduction. So I believe that let us just wait and see. But what is at stake is that the constituency is currently being split among politicians.
Okay, Miguda, thank you so much. And let me take the opportunity to thank the following. Kiprotich Ogek Boy, thank you so much for joining Brother Benson podcast. You can become a member by subscribing to the channel and be part of the family. Annie, my sister, thank you so much for joining us. And we always appreciate you being on the comment section. Gibson Connor, thank you so much for always being with us every time we are going live. And also I'm seeing Alphonse Mwendwa. Thank you so much, my brother. In our podcast, what we try to do, we try to have a conversation and try to have views, especially concerning the governance and the politics of our country. And this time around, we are trying to engage with quite a number of people. We've started to calling, especially hosting guests from Bunge la Wananchi. We were at Jivanji yesterday. We had Joachim Simiu. We are also trying again to get someone from Jivanji Garden with the divergence view, and so that we can keep the conversation going. And let me take this opportunity again to thank Miguda so much for coming on the podcast. As you go for Sabbath, utuombee bana. Hii Kenya inataka maombi, usikose tuombee sisi wote. Sawa sawa, asante sana. And we'll be having a show in the morning, Kenyan time. It will be around 7 a.m. in the morning. And I think if you're outside Kenya, it depends from where you are. I will be hosted by Mzalendo at Afrique 24. So you can join us on the conversation, and may God bless you as we see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, and may God bless you so much.